Hey everybody, welcome back to the Highland Fox. This week we're talking about the Canadian Grand Prix.
All right, so
A lot happened.
basically a mixed wet dry track the entire race.
Yep.
It never really fully became one or the other, so that added a lot of excitement to it. I think this race was one of the most exciting ones we've had.
Yeah, you never knew it was going to happen, and Max Verstappen did end up winning it, but that was not sure until really the end.
Yeah, I definitely thought Lando was going to take it.
Yeah.
I was pretty convinced.
Right. So Russell started on pole because he tied Verstappen, but he set the lap first in qualifying. So he started on pole, and then Verstappen and Norris were fighting for a little bit. So Russell led for 20 laps or something like that. And then Norris led for a while, and then Verstappen led for a while. So
Rain was there, then it left, and it came back. Lots of tires switching around. Speaking of tires, who did I think was actually going to win the race at lap 2? Oh my goodness,
Kevin Magnussen.
What are you doing with my heart? So Haas was the only team to put on wets in the beginning, and they moved through the field quite quickly, and then the track started drying and warming up.
Yeah.
But
Kevin Magnussen started 14th and ended up in 4th after the end of the 5th lap.
it was so cool to watch.
It was so much fun to watch. And then the track started to dry a little bit, and then they were losing a couple seconds a lap. So it didn't last very long.
No.
But it was really exciting in the beginning.
Fun while it lasted.
We really thought Haas was going to get a podium. It did not work out for that.
No.
You know who else didn't get a podium? Ferrari.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I feel like 2 weeks ago, we were talking to you all with tears, chills, literal chills.
Championship is back on.
And what a lost race this was. Charles had engine problems on lap 5.
But they qualified 11 and 12.
The entire weekend was awful. They qualified.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, they qualified unused.
Which was weird.
Which is weird. But last year, wasn't it this race where they qualied bad, but then they only did a 1 pit while everyone else did 2? So I was like, maybe they're trying to do it again. But no, they didn't need to even do anything because neither finished. So
yeah, and it was weird. All season with Fred Vasseur, we've been talking about how great Ferrari's strategy is. And they've been making all the right calls, and that Charles has never finished less than 4th. Carlos has never finished less than 5th. Every decision they've made is right. This decision, with rain imminent in 2 minutes, they pitted Charles, because his engine was bad, for slicks. So then they sent him back out on hard tires while rain was now falling. It was a drying track, and then rain started falling, so Charles is losing 18 seconds a lap. He gets lapped, and then they finally pit him to retire him. Oh no, then they pit him again for another set of inters, and then retired him. So he just had a horrendous day because his engine was just not cooperating.
But he lasted a lot of the race, even though it was dude, this is just sad at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he did okay in the first half, and then the strategists at Ferrari, I don't know what they...
Slicks in a wet track is the most Ferrari thing I've ever seen.
Sure is. Is.
And then Carlos, not happy with the position he was in, got a little desperate, when the track was drier, everyone was on slicks at this point. He tried to overtake on a corner. Wheel got touched the wet part of the track. He lost control, took out a Williams. So it was just chaos all around for Ferrari. He limped back home.
Yeah.
He retired.
Yeah, so he took out Albon. Logan Sargent from Williams also was out earlier in the race. So the 2 Ferraris, 2 Williams were out.
Yeah.
Perez...
Yeah, the only saving grace for the championship that we were all hyped up for last week was that Ferrari was within 24 points of Red Bull. And Perez had just signed a 2-year agreement. The funny part was that Perez has not been performing, so everyone said, "Hey, congratulations, Ferrari, for winning the constructors," because Perez is not doing well. And so what did he do? New contract, everyone's against him. Qualifies in 16th?
16th.
So not great. And then crashes out on his own. Just nothing going on, just decided to crash out. And then he limps back home with a damaged car. So he drove it in an unsafe condition. So now he's got a 3-place grid penalty for next race. So, damage limitation for Ferrari?
But I mean, Max won, so it's
Max
still
won,
like
yeah.
you gave him another 25 points. So
Right.
yeah, so I mean, it's not a done deal that Red Bull is going to get the constructors yet. We don't know. But I mean, if Perez just keeps not crashing, DNFing these races, who knows?
Yeah.
2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens against Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen against the world.
That's literally what it is at this point, because they even said after Monaco that Red Bull might not be able to bring upgrades because of the damage.
Yeah.
And then Perez just crashed again. And
I
bad.
know.
So, like, there is saving grace here. If you want an exciting, if you're a Red Bull fan, I'm sorry. If you're an everybody else fan, and you want an exciting championship, Red Bull could be hampered at the end of the season, and McLaren looks great.
Yeah.
Norris had a chance to win. Piastri looked really good. They finished 2 and 5. So they could overtake Ferrari and challenge Red Bull. So we'll have to see.
It is interesting. So I think McLaren, I noticed this last race too. They start off so competitive. And I don't know if it's their tire degradation management. I feel like they start off so strong, and then towards the end of the race, that gap gets bigger.
Yeah.
So I think McLaren has a great car, but I don't know if it's the tires or something else that's causing them to slowly fall back. Because Lando was on Max.
Yeah.
He was on him.
DRS and everything.
And then like at lap 55, now once again, it was a wet track. Things are weird, whatever.
Yeah.
So that could just be a oops, whatever. But Lando just slowly made that gap to where it was like Verstappen went off in the distance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it could be Max.
If
But no, Piastri fell back too.
Well, yeah, Piastri's got a little bit. That's kind of one of Piastri's weaknesses is the tire management. But he's young. I know Leclerc and Verstappen had that problem too. If Lando pits a lap earlier, because he stayed out, everyone pitted for dries. Lando stayed out, made up a lot of good time on the first lap. And everyone's like, okay, now he'll pit. He didn't. He did it again, and then you don't have the speed. Max passes him in the pits, basically.
Yeah.
Does Lando win if he pits when he should have?
I'm not sure, because one lap, I don't know if his car was looking the way it was as the last 15 laps, as slow as it was. I don't know if one lap would have saved him.
Might have made it closer.
It might have made it closer, but I still
his
think
tire
Max.
still gave.
I still think Max would have passed him in the end. I just
Unless
think
he
it
hit
would
that
have
groundhog.
been. Yes.
Max almost hit a groundhog, so that would have ended his race.
Oh man.
Remember when last year he drove like 50 laps with a bird in his cooler, taking on groundhogs, he's a menace.
But I don't think Lando would have.
Yeah, I don't either. That's a lot of talking point.
Yeah.
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 All right, we'll finish with this because we haven't talked about them, I think, all season, actually. I don't even know if anyone that watches us still knows they are in the championship. Mercedes is still a team that exists, which is weird to say for anyone that's watched F1 for any amount of time.
Yeah.
Again, Russell put it on pole, finished third, and then Hamilton finished fourth. They were scrapping at the end. Is Mercedes back, or is that just a wet, dry track, weird track?
I say let's see. I think Russell had a great qual.
Yes. He's good in the wet.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say they're back yet. I don't know. Hamilton looked better, but
he didn't complain as much.
I'm not going to make any opinion judgment on Mercedes right now. They looked okay, then they don't. So,
and it's hard with the 2 Ferraris out, right? They could have been just as easily 5th and 6th.
Yes,
right?
Correct. So if Ferrari was battling McLaren, then it could have pushed
everything. Everything.
Yeah. So I really
I
don't think this race really showed us
anything
other than Ferrari's strategists are the way they are.
Vasseur said hopefully all their crappy parts and strategies are out of the way now. They just spent it all in one race.
Yeah, that's true. Get all your bad luck done.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Spain is the next track. That's the real telling one because that's the one they used to practice on. It's got a lot of good corners.
Stroll got points in his home race.
Great addition. Totally forgot about him. Gasly and Ocon fought over points. Drama in the French Civil War. Still happening. Anything else?
Always will.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Daniel Ricciardo came back. He scored some good points after everyone pooped on him. Tsunoda, re-signed his contract, then messed up.
So he looked like he was doing good and then went off the track.
Yeah. But okay, so Spain is next. Everyone says that's like the telling track. It's got good corners, high speed, low speed, some straights. So we'll really see who
very conclusive. Track.
We really get to see the pecking order of who's who in Spain, and that's in 2 weeks. So we'll see you guys then.
So
Thanks.
We'll see Max in 22 seconds ahead.
Right.